you can go to any high-class community or even a middle-class community within the Western world, and I can almost guarantee you that none of these stores or houses or populated areas have even a fraction as small as a percentage represented by the colored people. It's a interesting situation when you find a colored person in a well-represented community, because what ends up happening is the Western world tries to justify that their treatment towards black people is one of equity because they have selected one colored person out of all of the millions that remain struggling in the slums, in the ghettos, and in poverty. And because they have selected this particular one person due to this person's intelligence and this person's hard work, they use this one particular person to hide the reality that lies behind him for the remaining masses. And because of this white person, this particular colored person's deception, to where he is convinced that because he sees white streets and white homes and white restaurants, that he has landed himself into he's convinced himself that he's landed himself into a paradise, when he has landed himself into nothing but a chaos identity crisis, to the point where his problem is actually being fabricated and whitewashed to where his people are able to see it. And sadly, the only person who is not able to see it is him. And this is the reality that you face, because for as long as you have a system that forces you to give up your rights, give up your freedom, give up your culture, and give up your ability to self-represent yourself, you definitely put yourself in a position where you have essentially given up everything that you have ever worked for. You are nothing more than a walking puppet that is being dangled with strings by the white community. And this is the situation that you will find a lot of colored people who make it into these communities, these middle class communities or these high class communities, that the only thing they could ever bring to their table is the fact that they have adopted whiteness, no different from the remaining millions of whites who have also adopted whiteness. And they have given up everything black related, including their black families, their black brothers, their black sisters, and the black cause. And because of this, they have neglected the true role and the responsibility of delegating even a slice of appreciation towards the people who fought day in and day out to establish rights, to establish laws, and to establish principles that will help build the foundation for the future generation of colored people moving forward. And they have completely abandoned the mission and the cause, and set themselves up to be used by the whites, to the point where the only thing they are interested in is putting a smile on their white boss's face, or receiving a acknowledgement, nothing more than a pat on the head from the white community, who have very skillfully tricked this black person into thinking that there is a sense of companionship, that there is a sense of hope, and I don't know how to express this more, as the statistics have shown that with all the wealth that white people have, with all the communities, all the land, the infrastructure and resources, they are very capable of catering towards the community of the black people as a whole. But instead, what they do is they amass this wealth as they get wealthier and wealthier, and the remaining black people sadly are tricked into spending their money, their hard-earned wealth, instead of actually pulling their wealth as a collective and investing in infrastructure and investing in equipment to build businesses, desks, computers, books. You'll find these black people do nothing more than go to the white malls and buy white shirts, and they go to the white stores to buy white food, and so they can sit in white coffee stores, all to realize that this was nothing more than a systematic objective to take the finances, the resources, and the benefits to extract the black community further away from actually tapping into any sort of capital potential of our own. And this is the trickery that you'll find is a repetitive cycle that if you look on paper, the majority of money earned by black people is given directly back to where it came from through some of the most unusual procedures possible in an effort to try and please their white neighbors with wealth, with status, to prove a statement, when there has the only statement that has been proven amongst all of this is the fact that white people are continuously exploiting and taking advantage of the fact that black people are unable to actually work together and keep something well grounded within themselves. And sadly, when you have a situation where your particular group of people has been oppressed by the masses, by the millions, by those who lie on the top, you put yourself in a position where you either surrender to them, and that is what most colored people do. They find themselves feeling weakened to the white masses, simply due to the fact that they have exhausted all their efforts into trying to please and into trying to squeeze into the white masses and trying to repopulate and rebuild amongst the same people who have been historically, presently, and statistically proven to inflict the most hostility and affect the worst livelihood on the colored community. And it's interesting when you put yourself in this position, because once they have colonized you, to undo that level of systematic setup, it's a long journey, one that many colored people do not see the benefit of pursuing till this day, and as a result they are constantly tricked by the white cosmetic stores. They are constantly tricked by the white restaurants, by all the white favoritism, which is nothing more than an attempt to prove from white people why they remain at the top, and why colored people will be focused to drop to the bottom as far as white America is concerned.